Today is about the power of you. You will change the world.
Welcome to Turning Point with Patrice Williams.
We can be whatever we dream.
Enhance the way you think about successful entrepreneurship, empowerment, and politics to live your best life.
Fulfill the highest, truest expression of yourself.
And now your host, the authentic, impactful influencer and coalition builder, Patrice Williams.
Well, hello. We are here for another episode of Turning Point with Patrice Williams. I am your host, Patrice Williams, and I am smiling ear to ear, because I was jamming in the background, but because I have two guests that I am very, very fond of. And without further ado, I'm going to bring them up, and then I'm going to introduce you to them. Hello.
Good morning.
Well, today we have two of board members from the Solano Commission for Women and Girls. We have our chair, Laura Petty. Laura, you've been the chair for
4 or 5 months, since October.
Since October. And then we have our treasurer, Sakina Ali.
Hello.
Hello. It's good to see you again.
You as well. Always good to see you.
Well, I tell you, the Solano Commission for Women and Girls, I know quite a few of the founders. I know quite a few of the board members. I know that you all are a passionate advocates for women and girls. And when I see the board members, it just makes me smile because I know that with you all, it'll make a difference.
Thank you. It's really good to be here. It's really great to be working together with 16 other, as you said, passionate, smart, hardworking women who want to roll up their sleeves and get things done for women and girls in our county.
Yes. So for our audience that are watching, you know how this works. The chat is interactive. If you have questions, go ahead and ask them in the chat, and we will be answering it throughout the show. But before I do that, I want to introduce do I call you commissioners?
Yes, that'll work.
I'm going to introduce our commissioners formally, and I'll be putting their contact information in the chat. So, Sakina Ali. And I want to make sure I'm saying your name correctly, Sakina.
Yes, you got it right. Sakina, yes.
So Sakina is the treasurer of the Solano Commission for Women and Girls. It represents the Fairfield, and she's the youth member at large. She is currently a student at University of California, Davis. She is studying communication and religious studies. She's a volunteer at the Matt Garcia Foundation. Her special interest is youth, equity, and community. And she's provided us with a powerful quote: "Service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth." That is a quote from Muhammad Ali. And I read your bio beforehand, but saying that quote out loud just gave me chills.
Mm-hmm. Powerful.
Yay. Woo. Okay, you starting us up right, Sakina. So Laura Petty, I would like to introduce your bio. You, of course, an attorney. Laura Petty is dedicated to the defense of those individuals charged with criminal offenses, both in trial court and courts of appeal. Ms. Petty is a highly experienced, certified criminal law specialist and has successfully defended clients charged with first-degree murder, 3 strikes, and other life-term cases, as well as serious felony and other matters. She represents both adults and juveniles, and her areas of practice also include successful misdemeanor and traffic representation. In addition, Miss Petty represents both parents and children in juvenile dependency, child welfare cases. Before entering private practice, Miss Petty served as a deputy public defender in Sonoma. Is it
Siskiyou.
Siskiyou, and Solano counties. And welcome you both. So, tell us a little about Solano Commission for Women and Girls. You started, was it 3 years ago?
2.5. October of 2018 was our first meeting. Just to back up and give a little bit of history about how and why we were started, there's been a state level piece of legislation for many years which encourages counties to have an advisory board, a commission for women and girls. About 3 years ago, in the spring of 2018, as you mentioned earlier, a group of powerful women in our county approached the Board of Supervisors and said, we really need to have a commission for women and girls. So in April of 2018, the Board of Supervisors passed a local resolution creating our commission. And what they established was that there are 17 commissioners. Each of the 5 members of the Board of Supervisors appoints a commissioner, and then each of the 7 cities appoints a commissioner. Then there are 2 youth commissioners who are appointed by the rest of the commission, and 3 adult or non-youth specified commissioners also appointed by the rest of the commissioners. So we're a total of 17. It took about 6 months for those initial appointments to be made. So October of 2017 was our first meeting.
Wow. Are you all hearing my voice echo?
No.
Just a little, I think, but it's understandable. I could hear you clearly.
Good. Okay. What about now?
It
Sounds good.
Okay, perfect. Well, now, 17 commissioners. That is a lot. How do you move through an agenda quickly? How do you function?
I think the key is efficiency. We have agenda for, our basic items that we need to, approve, and, we need to talk overall as commissioners, but we also have committees in place. And the committees are used to, make these action items and create this content and what we need to do before we present it to the commission overall. So we have a little bit prep before we come to the general commission meeting. Everything's on the agenda, we read prior, and, we're trying to stay on top of it. What discussion needs to happen, it happens. But I think it's those committee meetings that allow us to be consistent on top of everything and get stuff done. And then we have like a chair, Rochelle Pollock was our past chair, and then now Laura Petty. They're both so efficient. They, are able to stay on task and guide us all into what we need to accomplish for that night. So.
Wonderful. And by the way, if you are either on the Commission for Women and Girls or a past founder, you are watching, I want you to put in the chat, hello. I want you to, because Gail Bond, guess what? I can see that you are watching. She is one of my favorite people in the world. Matter of fact, it's interesting. When I look at your list of women that are involved and commissioners, it is literally a who's who of some of my favorite people on the planet.
That's awesome.
Including you.
I just wanted to say thank you. I wanted to say that I think that the supervisors and the cities did a really good job of, first of all, trying to appoint a very diverse group of women, because that's important. It's part of our mandate that we represent the county the way the county is comprised. But we also tend to be sort of self-selecting. Women that are interested in forwarding issues of importance to women and girls, those are the folks who apply. And speaking of applying, we have several of us who were appointed for a 3-year term, and our terms will be up toward the end of the year. So I hope if there are other folks that are interested in getting involved, that they will look out for those applications. But also, and I'm sure we'll talk about this a little bit later, there are lots and lots of opportunities. In fact, we need for people who are not necessarily one of the 7 commissioners to be involved with us. So please, if you're interested in issues of importance to women and girls in our county, come to one of our meetings, get involved with one of our working groups, help us, because 17 of us can't do it all.
So I just put the website address in our link. Is that where people would kind of watch out and keep and look for opportunities? Okay. Okay, awesome. Well, that is in our stream. So can we talk about your status report that caused a wave a few months ago?
Go for it.
Sorry. So, well, our status report, if you had the opportunity to go ahead and look at it, it's a lot, right? There's reports on demographics, civic engagement, child abuse, disabilities, health, and safety. I mean, there's just so much more, right? And we talk about a lot, and it's and the idea of this coming out and this being the first thing that we do was important because although we came together as a commission, we needed to know where we needed to focus on. What were the disparities? What was going wrong, or what exactly was happening in Solano County and our individual cities that we can, kind of go in and support and create actions and advise the Board of Supervisors. So if you haven't looked at it, I believe it's going to be on the chat. Feel free to go ahead and read that over whenever you have time. But we were able to finish this and present it to the Board of Supervisors, which was amazing. And after we created this, we started to work on working groups that allowed us to actually go in and choose some topics depending on the stats and the data that we can actually, make action, as I said. Chair Petty, if you wanted to add, I said it really broadly.
Yeah. Well, the reason that we did the status report was that was one of the things the Board of Supervisors charged us with doing, but also was a good starting point. How do you know what issues need to be addressed without sort of taking the temperature of women and girls in the community at any given point? So that's what the status report is. It was as of May of 2020. And as Ms. Ali said, after we finished that, we've not only presented it to the Board of Supervisors, but we continue to present it to groups. So if you're part of a Rotary group or a Soroptimist International group or some other group that would like to hear from us, we're happy to come and share a little bit of a deeper dive into those statistics that we gathered. But at the end of that, our group got together and said, what are 3 or 4 or 5 of the really most important topics that jumped out to us as issues that need some attention and that we could potentially affect? So we took a vote and we came up with 5 that we are focusing on now. And those are poverty, homelessness, food insecurity, human trafficking, and maternal and infant health disparities. And if I could, for just a second, I would like to talk about the last, that last topic. So one of the things that was surprising and a little disheartening, actually, in 2019, 2020 to learn is that there do continue to be pretty serious disparities between white women and infants, and in particular African American women and infants. Yes, even in Solano County, even in California, even in 2020. So that is something that our group decided should be one of our main priorities to get working on. So, Sakina, do you want to talk a little bit about how our working groups work?
Yes. So as Chair Petty had mentioned that we chose these topics. We have those 5 groups, and we all realize, in a sense, they all overlap, right? They all have something to do with each other. But we made sure, and we had multiple conversations that, do we want to make the poverty and houselessness, are those going to be something that we connect and we do joint force? But we made sure to stay separate, because there are specific points that the commissioners and those who are part of the working groups, we're like, this is specific to poverty and this is specific to houselessness. And so we try to meet multiple times before our commission meeting, and each working group has a focus on what they want to get done first, right? And how and what they want to do for the community, and what actions need to take place. For example, like the human trafficking, right? It's in the works of creating a workshop, a human trafficking seminar type event, where we're educating the community on what this is, looking at signs and et cetera, right? In support of the community, meaning, our police departments are going to be connected with us, our city officials. So we all kind of play a big role in trying to solve these issues, right? Food insecurity is another committee. If you look at the stats, it's completely shocking. You'd find it shocking, especially for women in our county. Because 52% of households that are in Solano County are run by females, and it shows that those 52%, out of that, a majority of it are food insecure. And that's scary, and that's what do we do about that? And yes, less than a half a quarter are on food stamps, but if you compare that to stats per se, if you look at the status report in the Bay Area and California overall, Solano County shows a higher percentage of women who are food insecure, compared to, we have 20%, sorry, Solano County's 20% versus California and Bay Area being more on 12 to 14%. So, these working groups focus on that and say why, and then what can we do to change that, or to bring awareness, at least. And every working group has their points and what they want to get done. And it's not only commissioners, these working groups are open to the community.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, we have, I see in the chat, Tamori Richardson, we really, we have amazing people coming to work with us in these working groups, and they're passionate about it. And it's not going to only happen with just the commission, right? We need support as a community. Yeah, I kind of went on a tangent as well.
No, it was good. It was perfect. If I could, I would just like to give an example of the amazing kind of involvement and contributions we're getting. Just to go back to our maternal and infant disparities working group, we had a meeting yesterday. We had Dr. Shandy Fuller of Solano HEALS.
Yes.
And HEALS is health equity for African American lives. We had a retired nurse from North Bay who was the head of the infant division for many, many years. Another retired nurse who for 30 plus years worked in Black infant health. We had not only 4 or 5 of our commissioners, but also Carla Gregory, who, like Tamuri Richardson, I just gotta give a shout out to both of them, because they're volunteers, but you would not know that they were not voting members of our commission, because they're not only at every meeting and participating, but they're on these working groups and rolling up their sleeves and getting stuff done. So this working group yesterday that met, there were 12 of us, and I think 5 of us were commissioners, but lots of other people with interest. Oh, also we had Jennifer Anderson, who's a not only an RN, but also a midwife. We also had Dominique Curry, who's a current doula student. And one of the things we're working on is figuring out ways to get more African American doulas in the community, because I don't know if you know what a doula is, a birthing coach. What our research has taught us is that when there's a doula involved, the health outcomes for moms and babies are better. And doulas do not need the level of education, the costly level of education that, say, a nurse or a midwife or a doctor does. So I didn't mean to go off on a tangent about that, but I think that's a really good example of the way that our commission is trying to bring together people who have knowledge in a particular area and also people who have passion to try to fix issues that need addressing, and get in the room together and roll up our sleeves and get things done.
Also adding to that, I think one of our big things with working groups was we were kind of scared because we're putting in this effort, right? And we didn't want to like duplicate what's already there, right? And so it was really important that we reach out to the community, because we commissioners know of so much, right? We're all involved in different things, but we're not a part of everything. So it's so important that we have feedback from the community, because the community members, or whatever they're part of and organizations that they're connected to, they bring in insight. And so we're trying to support what's already there as well, instead of duplicating it and redoing this whole effort. And so that was one big thing about the working groups, that we don't want to just keep on adding another program, right? Because there are resources, for food. I'm going to go back to the food insecurity. For there are resources to get support, but people don't know about it. And so it comes down to how do we inform the people of our cities and in our community, in our county, instead of us creating this whole entire program for supporting people, because there are those we could just enhance those, right? So I think the 4 are very similar compared to the ones that Chair Petty's one, because that one's more specific, I feel like, and it's more, people don't think of it as much. And so I think, a working group like that it's so eye-opening, because it's like, wow, this is my community. This is what we need in our community. Like, this is not like, a state away. This is our backyards, right? But yeah, just to add that portion.
No, that's wonderful. You make a great point. One of the things that I notice in Solano County is that we work in silos. And the fact that you are able, just in that one example of Black infant health, and you brought in all of these minds and thought leaders and ideas that's already, and nonprofits that are already here, and put them all in one room to talk about this issue. Do you also, you see all of these organizations that maybe people don't know about, and I haven't gone to your website yet. Is that a place where we would see not only the working groups, but also that all of those organizations kind of in one place?
Thank you so much for asking about that. Our website is in progress right now, but that is a major goal of ours within the next couple of months. To as Sakina said, there are a lot of resources that exist already, and we want to be an easy place for people to go and find those. So what we're envisioning is, at least for the areas where we have a working group, we will have a page on our website that lists resources, lists ways to get involved. So yes, we're hoping that our website will be there shortly. In terms, just to go back, if I could, to getting everybody in the room, it's really important to us to be doing what we're doing with the lens that we're centering the people that we want to help. So we don't want to, it's important for us to bring together doctors and nurses and people that have experience in an area, but we also want to, just to go back to the example of the maternal and infant health group, we want to hear from women, especially women that have had some difficulties, perhaps with the birth experience, maybe didn't get the kind of advocacy that they would have liked, or didn't feel that they were able to advocate for themselves. We want to hear from those folks. On the Saturday before Mother's Day, May 8th, we're putting together a convening, not only of the sorts of health officials that I talked about a few minutes ago, but we want to hear from moms too, or pregnant women. So please reach out to us on our website, send us an email, give us a call. so that we can hear from you at one of our gatherings.
That's wonderful. So just a good chat. I see that Gail Vaughn said that she's one of your commissioners and a mentor for me surrounding voter registration. And she said she is going to be presenting to the Benicia City Council via Zoom tonight. So I believe the status report, that's what she's going to be presenting.
Go, Gail. Yes. Gail is a super active member of our commission, and she may have already shared the status report with the Benicia City Council, but I think she may be going there to give them an update on what we've been working on in our working group since then. She's hopefully going to also tell them about our series of events to celebrate Women's History Month in March, which we'd like to share with you as well.
Absolutely. Our next segment, and you've already saw that Tamori Richardson, and she's saying thank you for leading the charge in this work. And it sounds like she's part of your working groups too. She's already rolled up her sleeves, and that's how I know her too. She gets to work. And puts her heart and mind behind things that she's passionate about. I also see where Brother Raymond says thank you for being here, and he wants you all to know that the Matt Garcia Foundation stands besides and for your work that you're doing for the status report of women and girls in Solano County.
Awesome, thank you.
Miss Delphine Metcalf Foster says, she's chiming in. Thank you with the question. Just so you know who she is one of our leading supporters of veterans. She, I believe, she held the highest veteran commission position of a Black woman, something like that. I might have it a little off, but AKA she's off the chain. And someone that if you all don't know, you should. And I also see where Rhonda Smith says that don't forget to utilize the knowledge and the expertise and the resources of Solano volunteers. Solano Volunteers is here to assist with making the right connections and increasing community involvement. So you have a few organizations here that are standing with you and please utilize us. Okay, I see Dr. Gethsemane Moss. Hello, Dr. Moss.
Hey, Dr. Moss.
She is just got her doctorate. Congratulations. She also is on the Benicia Unified School District. She's a trustee. And she says this work is so important to Solano County, and she appreciates being, she's part of your March speaker series.
Yes, perfect segue.
I was gonna say, I think she just queued us up.
Thanks, Dr. Moss. All right. Well, as I said a minute ago, March is Women's History Month, and we've been talking about kind of some heavy issues that we're trying to address, but that's not all we're charged with. We're also, part of our mandate is to highlight positives about women and girls in our community, and there are tons of them. First of all, as we saw last November, we have so many women elected officials, also governmental officials in really, really high places. Besides government and elected officials, though, we've got business leaders, community leaders, health leaders, all kinds of leaders. And we want to just take a little while out to sit back and gather together and celebrate our women leaders, and also to give our future leaders, younger women, high school age, college age young women, the opportunity to get to know some of these leaders on a little bit of a deeper level. So what we've got is every Thursday afternoon in March from 4 to 5:30, we'll have a virtual panel interview. A young person paired together with a experienced interviewer such as Patrice Williams, who's graciously agreed to do our first interview together with one of our youth volunteers. And those interviews will be of 4 leaders. And could I just give our schedule so folks know when their favorite leader might be on the calendar?
Absolutely.
All right. So our first event will be March 4th. Again, that's 4 o'clock to 5:30. We will hear from Renee Brown, entrepreneur, owner of Renee's House of Hair. She specializes in multicultural hair, and she's also really a community leader up in Vacaville. So we'll hear from Renee Brown. Also, Judge Terry Davis. If you're from the Vallejo area, you may have known Judge Davis as a practicing attorney, who I believe was in partnership with her husband and the former mayor, Osby Davis. But we're so lucky to have Judge Terry Davis now in the Solano courts. Ana Deneen, who is with Voces Latinos up in the northern part of our county, and Supervisor Aaron Hannigan. So those will be the 4 that Ms. Williams and a youth volunteer will be interviewing on March 4th. Our second event, March 11th, will focus on Dr. Gethsemane Moss, as we've heard about just a moment ago. Also, Dr. Lynette Barron, who was in the military and is now a pediatrician with Kaiser. Casey Patton, a really out of the box thinker at the probation department, who's doing great things with our young women in juvenile hall. And Susan Rachi, who is a disabled activist for the disabled. Really interesting person with a fascinating and inspiring story. So those are the 4 that we'll be hearing from on March 11th. March 18th, the first openly gay, first woman chief of police for the Fairfield Police Department, Deanna Cantrell. Ms. Elise Cheek, who fits in so many different categories. We would need to talk about her for an hour, but just a few. She's on the Solano County Office of Education Board. She's a business owner of a construction business, which is, as we all know, a very male-dominated field. Also a community activist in many ways, has been involved with the Chamber of Commerce down in Vallejo. So she'll be part of our March 11th panel, along with Cynthia Garcia, also a community activist, also who works in the Solano courts on specialty courts, homeless court, drug court, dependency, CPS cases, all kinds of real specialties. And then our own Patrice Williams, who needs no introduction with you all. That will be our panel for March 18th. And then our 4th panel of the month will include Supervisor Monica Brown, Lisette Estrella Henderson, who I hear will be a guest very, very soon on your show.
Tomorrow.
She is the elected superintendent of Solano County Office of Education. Lisa Howard, a local farmer, winery owner, environmentalist. And then the Honorable Lori Wilson, Mayor of Sassoon City. So we hope that you'll tune in to join us. We don't have the links up yet, but the links will be on our website for sure by March 1st, probably a little earlier than that. So check our website for the link to tune in. We're going to have some cool interactive stuff. You can win a Starbucks gift card if you get a trivia question correct. So we hope to see everybody there with us. Sorry to have taken so long to go over that.
That was wonderful because we were able to hear the dates and the panelists that are associated. So that is really good. Thank you for taking the time to give us that information. That was pretty wonderful. Oh my goodness, I'm even more excited.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, when you know, some organizations when I'm called, I don't ask any questions. I don't. Whatever you're doing, I'm in. And that was you. So when you said that y'all are working on a program, I was like, put me where you need me. And because this organization leads with its best foot forward and is community driven. So I'll always be there when you need me. But I have a feeling I'm not the only one. I think that there are many more ambassadors for the Solano Commission for Women and Girls. And I think they're ready to get involved. I think you're going to be reaching, I think you're going to be reaching people that didn't quite know what you did and the faces that, behind it. And you see where Miss Delphine has already put in her contact information.
I'm writing it down.
She's powerful. She's amazing. I had the opportunity to meet her in a panel as well, and she will teach me. It has taught me a lot just in that hour.
She's one of those people, just being in her space makes you better.
Exactly.
One of many. There's so many like that. And, just going through this thread, I'm looking at people that have that same effect. Tamari Richardson, to know her, you are a better person knowing her.
Absolutely.
Dr. Simi, same thing. Gail Vaughn, you call me anytime about a voter registration, anything, and I am there. She's taught me half of what I know about voter registration. And Rhonda Smith. So yeah, so I have a feeling that you have, so let me ask you this. So men that want to support the Solano Commission of Women and Girls, like, are they sitting on working groups? How does that work? How do men get behind us and support us?
We would welcome for men to be involved in our commission meetings, in our working groups, in any of our presentations and celebrations that we're putting on. Please come on in.
Okay.
Yeah, although our focus is on women and girls in Solano County, that doesn't necessarily mean only women and girls have to work on it, and only women and girls want women and girls to do better in Solano County, right? So yes, like, I always get that question, like, well, why is this like an only women's thing? Well, you could come and support, come out, check us out, come to a commission meeting or, working group meeting, and just see what you're interested in. Because at the end of the day, the goal is to bring equity, right? It's to bring support for everyone. But this is specific because we see those disparities with women and girls in Solano County when you compare it to everyone else, or if you compare it by race, ethnic background. But yeah, we want all the help, any help, because we just want to get stuff done, right? That's the goal.
Yeah. We just want to get stuff done. That's it. You just closed the show.
See ya.
What goes after that? Well, I want to invite you all to come back later in the year to kind of let us, because is it every October that the status report comes out?
Well, we did an initial one. We're all volunteers. We don't have a source of funding, although perhaps Ms. Sakina might like to talk about that a little bit. So we're doing a lot. We don't currently have plans for an update to the status report on a specific date. I'm sure one will occur in the future, but right now, since we took that temperature, now we're trying to take some more active steps and get some things done before we go back and focus on that research again.
Okay. I still want you all to come back. Well, I want to hear about the financing, the fundraising, but I also want you all to come back to kind of give us where you are and another call to action for us to get involved.
Love to.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Awesome. So did you want to give us a quick update about, are you raising money? What are you doing?
Well, everything that we do is donation based. We had funds in the beginning, which was mainly for our status report, right? So that was our main goal, and that's where a majority of our funds that we had went towards. And then
sorry to interrupt, we received some donations from 3 of the Soroptimist International groups, and that's how we funded preparation and printing of the status report.
Can you tell that my Soroptimist was one of them?
Thank you.
You're optimistic.
Yeah, like it's it's all donation based. It's not, we don't get any, I shouldn't say funding, sorry. We don't get any support in that sense. So and as Chair Petty had mentioned, we're all volunteers, right? So it's hard to get stuff done in our time, in our schedule, with our free time. Without that funding, because like funding supports us in, if you want, well, right now it's virtual, so we don't have to do any of those events. But I would say if you are interested in donating, you're more than welcome to. Those funds go towards trying to make action happen and change happen. But primarily our biggest portion went to the status support, and as of right now, we don't have intent to spend on a status report, but it's always good to know about updated stats, and in order to do that, we will need some form of money. Yeah.
So just real quick on the legal stuff, because we are a government advisory board, we're not a nonprofit. However, we have a nonprofit who is our fiscal agent, who can collect nonprofit donations on our behalf and manage that money for us. So the fiscal agent is Music for Our Children. If anyone wanted to make a donation toward the Solano Commission for Women and Girls and what we're doing, you can write a check to Music for Our Children. You can then put in the memo line, Solano Commission for Women and Girls. You can mail that check to my law office. I will collect those and pass them forward to Miss Ali, our treasurer, and then that will be forwarded on to our fiscal agent.
Okay, so I am putting that in the chat now. The fiscal agent, Music for Our Children, in the memo line, Solano Commission for Women and Girls, and we need to send that to, where should we mail it?
My law office is 711 Jefferson Street.
Okay.
Here in Fairfield.
Awesome. I'm going to cut and paste that into our chat. So we have that. I see one of your commissioners have arrived. I saw her. There she is, Elise Cheek.
Yay. Hello.
I hope you were here in time for the plug for your participation in one of our panels on the 18th.
I don't know if she got her plug, but she heard it, but she can hit the replay, as can anyone can hit the replay. What is the zip code? 94533?
33.
Okay, awesome. That is in the chat. Elise, we all love you, and we got a complete plug of every aspect of the community that you're involved in. I would like to add that she is also the president of the Solano Black Chamber of Commerce. So she's also President Elise Cheek. Oh, and she said, yep, and thank you. Okay, let's see. Oh, Rhonda Smith says we have a community foundation, and the community Solano Community Foundation. She's saying that's the way also. Oh, okay, got it. So, okay, this was a great, did this go fast?
Yes.
This went fast. And let me try one thing before you all leave. Let's see if we can put that fiscal agent.
Awesome.
Okay, I didn't know if it was going to work with three of us. So here it is.
Thank you.
Agent, Music for Our Children, Solano Commission for Women and Girls, and Okay.
Thank you.
And the address. And with you all, I was able to learn that we can have 3 people and still feed the bottom half of the screen. So
Glad we could be here to help you learn.
that is awesome. So for my listeners, this time I didn't show you on the screen, but I will do that again. Now that I know I can do it. So that's awesome. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to come and talk. And we look forward to all the people who are watching and listening, coming to one of our meetings, joining up with one of our convenings, and rolling up your sleeves with us and working together.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to say to everyone, just take the time if you're able to read the status report. There's just so much shocking stats in there that really motivate you and can it touches me, when you see some stats and you're just like, wow, this is Solano County. It's really thorough and it's really deep. But take the time. I know it'll help you understand what we need support in Solano County if able to. But thank you, Patrice Williams. You are amazing as always, beautiful as ever, and super powerful. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't ever stop, because you light a shine, as you say. You shine outside, as we were talking before. It's we know your internal love and your internal goodness, but we see it on the outside with all the work you do.
That means everything. As you know, this work isn't always easy. And sometimes we're a little depleted. So thank you for refilling my bucket. I appreciate it.
And thank you, Kay Patrice, for refilling our community's bucket with this show.
That means everything. Well, I can't wait to be with you all next month. And I have a feeling that you're going to see that many community members are know that you're there, and that is behind you. Dr. Lily says, great job on the Solano County, and the Solano County is on a rise for women and girls because of you all. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Dr. Plosky, for your never-ending participation and contributions. Another great person that is making our organization better.
Yes. And I also want to just say thank you to Miss Clinton, Lisa Clinton, as well, for supporting us and connecting with you, Kay Patrice, because you were amazing and very helpful.
Oh, I know she appreciates that. I can see her in a virtual green space, smiling. Yay! Okay, so I'm gonna put you in the green room for just a minute, and I'll close out the show. Thank you. Well, thank you for coming and joining us for another episode of Turning Point with Kay Patrice. Was that an amazing show? I'm pausing because we're all at our own houses shaking our heads and saying yes. That was a phenomenal show. We will be back with you tomorrow. Lisette, oh boy, Australia Henderson. Okay. I will get it straight. I don't want to mispronounce her middle last name and her last name. But she's going to come tomorrow. Superintendent of Solano County Schools, and we're going to be talking about equity in Solano County Schools. You want to be here. You want to be here live at 10 a.m. But again, you can see us on a replay. With that, I'm going to close this out with a wonderful outro.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Turning Point with Kay Patrice Williams.
Something better is always possible if you're willing to work for it and fight for it.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. And never miss a podcast or live stream by visiting our website, imkpatrice.com, or connecting through social media at IamKPatrice on all platforms.